Welcome everyone to the Meta Show. We are now doing it. I want to say hello to you all from the frozen wasteland of Madison, Wisconsin, where we have a rather hilarious situation going on right now. There are about 80 people from Goonswarm here in Madison at a party that's being hosted at Archimena's place. This is Ice Swarm, which is a multiple time a year event that we have, where many people from our community come from all around the world and nearly die, either for getting lost in the winter, falling under cars. That happened last night. It was a parked car. No one was injured except for possibly the undercarriage of the car and one of our editors' dignity, because the person in question
And his
was
hand.
a lickchee. Oh, did he actually hurt his hand?
He posted a picture on Twitter of his hand all cut up and stuff. So I mean, yeah,
Wow.
he's a mess.
I have rarely seen so much damage done so quickly to so many goons. It's kind of
Amazing.
it is amazing. It's interesting. I've seen them. We'll talk about
I
this.
I refer to that as Darwinism, actually.
You know, the thing about it is just that there's a real kind of a social division in our community. There are people who like to hang out and play board games and drink and do rock band and stuff like that. And sort of a more quieter thing. This is usually like our logistics guys, and this is a party hosted by GSOL. There's tons of food, great chili, various other refreshments that we can't talk about online.
I like food.
Food is good. And, you know, that's one sort of party. The other sort of party is the kind of thing that we do in Vegas. And this is just a total tangent. I'm going to go completely off the script because I get to do that. And, in fact, that sounds to me like our first just impromptu segue of the evening. There are these
You
guys.
also get a new subscription as well from Pixel Sword.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for joining us. There are people who at Vegas are just operators, like my chief of staff, Sion Kumitomo, who is, again, one of our candidates for CSM in this upcoming election. Sion has powered through some of the wildest parties that I have seen without an eye blink. The man intimidates people when he's in the CSM situation because he's so reserved, so circumspect, just never blinks. 2 hours into the GSOL Archimena Ice Swarm party, I found him outside in the snow with his shoes off, sitting in a rocking swing, unaware that he had his shoes off in the snow. Between his legs were two of Archimena's dogs, and they were licking up the vomit that he had.
Ew, that's so disgusting. Oh, why?
This was within 2 hours of attending this party. Another grizzled goon veteran of many of our entertainments. I have watched another one of us, Solus Lunas. I have seen Solus destroy Reykjavik, walking up and down Laugavegur, going on just an epic bender without an eye blink. And Solus was one of our first casualties. He was incapacitated by 7:45 p.m. Of course, he laid down on a couch and ended up being covered in Sharpie marker because that's what happens if you can't handle yourself.
That's exactly what happens. It happens
And also,
at festival too.
she just linked the live stream of Iceform into Twitch chat as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the people who can handle Vegas benders, which is more my territory of comfort, and benders in Reykjavik, there ain't no party like a G-Sol party. Let's put it like that. So no, it was good. It was just interesting because once I get done with this show, I'm going to have to man up and go once more into the breach. I don't know whether I'll be able to handle it. I might end up underneath a parked car like our dear editor, Alexi.
You know what? He works really hard. He's allowed to let his hair down.
I need to supervise him now. Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Watch him. If we lose him, we're in trouble.
I really thought going into this that the people who I absolutely did not expect would need babysitters, I need to keep an eye on. So
You're finding they do indeed need babysitters.
So okay, well, you can handle Vegas, you can handle Reykjavik, you can handle all of the after parties and all the chaos, and you can't handle Ice Swarm. Okay, that's fine. Somebody was asking me, speaking of parties and FanFest, Carrot Fudger in chat is asking whether I'll be at FanFest. Of course, I'll be there, as well as I'm not sure whether Nystrick is going to make it or not. But
Nope, that's money that I do not have.
That is a shame. No, that is a shame.
Maybe next year, but this year for sure. I've definitely looked at the price and was like, yeah, No.
It's expensive as shit. Which we've talked
Especially-
about for the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah,
on the
no,
Madison show.
it still torques me off. The whole let's schedule it in time for an eclipse, great idea. I have a transparent coffee mug. Actually, you guys can't see it because you don't have.
I'm watching the stream.
Oh, you are watching the stream. Okay, so this is nice. Like, actually, it's got paisley on it, so it's like a
Nice.
space magic cup.
That's fantastic. I'll definitely be at eVegas again this year, though. So,
Yeah, eVegas.
so you guys you should come out to eVegas. We can all just hang out. And
Vegas is going to be absolutely a disaster area this time away. And
This
time around,
this
and when I say
time-
a disaster, I
funny.
mean like in a good way, in an
This
even
time
better
I'll have
way.
Money. This time I'll get wasted. I'll be able to do stuff. It's gonna be a great time.
This is interesting. I'm looking at our chat, and one of the things that we've seen now that we've actually discovered the magic ability of actually starting on time, right? Like, I don't know, like, Cyclops shoots lasers from his eyes. We are able to start a TV show exactly on time, except that we're apparently not able to remember to turn our goddamn phones off. That's interesting.
That's fantastic.
That was somebody calling me and me realizing then that I had not dotted all of my I's and crossed my T's. But all right,
It's okay.
our
Got
show's
most
being
of it.
pretty meta. Like we're
Yes.
now talking about many things except for the things that we actually do speak of.
That's okay, because it's always good to talk.
We're
and have
never
a little bit of
we
fun.
never go by that list. Besides like jumping around it.
That's true.
So-
but I was
We'll get
about
into
to
it,
say,
though.
are we
We'll
going to get into it?
Let's get into it.
Okay, let's do this. We're gonna talk about Jovians first. aren't
We are going to talk about Jovians because Tiamat is now a thing. That was the name of the patch, right? Right? That was the name of the patch. I said it, came out of my mouth, and I was like, that's
No,
the
no,
name
no,
of the
no,
patch,
no.
right?
The
Sorry.
the reason why I'm laughing like an idiot, and the reason why Laz is laughing like an idiot, is just as you thought you mispronounced it, my phone explodes because Brian Murph is calling me.
Oh, that's
But
exciting.
I had turned off my ringtone there,
Oh.
I didn't know.
so
I'll see if you had about sound.
I see his face on my stream monitor, and then on my phone,
That's
then suddenly
hysterical.
like there you go. But no, I caught you. I was there in time. Laz. It is interesting seeing stream chat. One of the things that I've noticed is increasingly we keep seeing more and more of the spy guy icons in chat. It seems like
Yes, I'm a fan.
one of the consequences of people actually showing up is we get more and more subscribers, and we actually start on time. It's wonderful. So Jovians,
sweet.
let's do this. Nice try.
So, lots of speculation, obviously, still about Jovians. Actually, I'm going to skip ahead in our notes because that's our thing. CCP has been doing this thing called The Scope on YouTube recently, where they've been releasing information via these YouTube videos that are like these newscast type things. So like, their videos, they show like some clips of what's been happening, and then there's some person with a voiceover talking about all these like speculatory things, and this is what's happening in Eve, and isn't it weird and crazy, and we don't really know what it is, but this is what's happening, and we'll keep you updated. It's actually kind of really cool, and I'm kind of a huge fan. And it's interesting because, like I said, it's a lot of speculatory, even from like their perspective. So like you just have some guy with a voiceover as a newscast saying, "Well, this is what's happening, but we don't really understand why." And like I'm hoping that this kind of continues with like lore, because I don't know, I think it's interesting. But so we've got a lot of these videos specifically about Jovians and what they're doing, what they're capable of, and so finally we have them now.
I think that the funny thing about them doing videos again is one of my favorites was some sort of newscast that they did years ago involving a Nyx crashing into a station, and of course Epsilon Squad and Goonstorm took that and turned it into some sort of lengthy weed odyssey with Captain Picard and all sorts of other chaos.
Goodness.
I haven't seen any of those like parody videos out of the scope ones that people have been doing, but I think that's only a matter of time.
Well, they used to
Maybe.
have a really, really good show, like that they founded Eve TV on, where they had like Stoffer and I think Stevie SG, and they had like different Eve players come on to it each week and just talk about it, and just have like an actual Eve TV production.
Right.
I think that was right before Stoffer started working there. But like, that'd be pretty cool to see that come back, but I doubt we'll ever see it again. But it was an interesting show. But that was like 8 years ago, maybe. That's scary,
Ancient
actually.
history, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh god, I just tweaked one of the settings on my microphone because somebody was screaming about it in chat, and I don't know whether everyone is now going to be deafened by me.
No.
You sound fine to us, so
Some of your
God.
background noise get cut out, which is good.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You get a little buzz in the background, but it's mostly gone.
I'm not sure whether I'm looking paler today because I have messed with my lighting, or whether because I'm still recovering from the G-Sol party. So, God only knows. But yeah, the Jovian thing is fascinating to me. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed that the loot that people are getting from them is pretty. They don't really drop anything.
For them being able to instantly kill your carrier.
Yeah, one of the guys in chat was asking whether I'm proud of the fact that one of the first carriers lost to a drifter came from the CFC, and of course I am very proud. One of the most important things about running a space empire, or attempting to, as bad of a job as I do it, is you got to keep your pride in check, and
of course.
We always need to remember that we are bad at EVE Online, regardless of how much people say that we're good at it, and that we are idiots, and that, of course, it's wonderful that we were the first people to lose like a ratting carrier to drifters, because that's sort of our rightful place. We need to keep that perspective.
Well, I mean, it's obvious.
It's the whelp calendar.
It is, absolutely. Unfortunately, because we're now a professional streaming shop, I don't think that we can actually get away with posting the famous GNN whelp calendar, because we have to be good citizens and clean up our act, and
Oh yeah, sure.
wear red shirts. That's how we roll.
I mean, thinking about the loot and stuff, like, obviously, it's become obvious not just through videos, but through what people are talking about and everything, that, like, whatever is happening with them, the drifters, the sleepers, the Jovians, whatever you want to call them then, whatever is to be done with them is not fully revealed yet, and is not fully finished, and that there's definitely more to come.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while because it's pretty much the biggest news that's been happening in EVE Online. One of the things when we're going through what we're going to talk about Tiamat today, we basically have the drifters, we have the Svipul. I mean,
they pronounced it in one of their videos, and I can't remember how they pronounced it, but apparently that's the way.
It's called the Minmatar Tech 3 Destroyer.
Yeah, basically the Minmatar Tech 3 Destroyer.
There you go.
So regardless of Svipples, or however we want to say it, there's definitely like a kind of a news drought in terms of the last couple patches. One of the most exciting things that I've seen out of CCP is not the Drifters, is not the Svipple, the Minmatar Tech 3 Destroyer. Is something we're going to be talking about a little bit later in the show, is one of the dev blogs they released talking about revamping the new player experience, which is, I think, one of the first like genuinely new ideas we've seen. From the gameplay design. Yeah, I think it's genius, and we'll get to that in a bit. But our current working theory, I think, or at least my working theory on the Drifter gimmick is, they come out with Thera, they come out with the shattered wormholes. Suddenly there's these drifters, which are very pointedly going in and out of wormholes into a wormhole that has the same background. Like, if you look at the wormhole that the Drifter battleship sort of zooms into, it goes into a wormhole that has a background that looks like Thera, or another shattered wormhole. So, I mean, it seems to me that the easy mode way to ladder your way up dev-wise into having player-built stargates is, at FanFest they say, hey, suddenly you can follow the drifters into different spaces, or shattered wormholes open up, and suddenly you have access to Jovian space. And that becomes like our first big land rush and land grab in EVE since
that's if the land is worth having.
Yeah. I mean,
there's going to be a lot of debate about that.
No.
That's going to be the tough thing, is because, as apparently nobody, the only people who understand this seem to be the people who actually like have to live in SOV and like run empires and stuff like that. The common view is that SOV is wonderful and is great, which is why the single best equipped and most powerful alliance in the game, with probably the best brain trust, which is to say PL, I mean, let's be honest here, has no SOV. And
I was waiting for the spin zone and waiting for you to say CFC, and then I was like, no.
Oh, no.
Can't be them.
No, because we are terrible at EVE.
SOV at this point is just too much work for what you actually gain from it. Like, there's no reason to actually have SOV. Like,
right.
Sure, you get some anomalies and stuff, but who gives a shit? Like, there's no real... there's no real reason to actually go and take more SOV, or get like a FanFest in the past, like they did the moon rebalance, which caused people to move from the south to the north, and completely flip-flop the map and change the map of EVE. But there's nothing really driving that anymore.
I mean, one of the things that I think we have to be worried about, so I mean, we know that the Jovian territory that is in the game currently has stargates, right? They have existing stargates that bounce between one another. If they open things up in such a way that only wormholes can get to this territory, and this territory is otherwise inaccessible, but once you're in that territory you can bounce around and do your thing, it seems frankly perfect for a renter empire. Like if they don't actually change the mechanics of Sov in a meaningful way to make it more valuable, then somebody goes in there, takes that crap over, and you basically have like a gated renter paradise that's even more inaccessible than the drone regions currently.
Right.
So that's going to be really interesting. I mean, we don't know what moons are in that territory. We don't know if they're even going to open that territory up. But the low threshold of value of territory is that if they screw it up and they make it hard to get to, somebody gets in there first, walks over everything with a cap fleet, builds some caps internally, and then hey presto, you have like a little gated renter botter region.
People in chat are saying, however, that Jove doesn't have stargates. So
we have news. Thank you. Helicon 1 is telling us that they actually don't have stargates there, and they have that. Interesting. That would be fascinating. That would be another thing, is you could go there and rebuild that, go there through wormholes, and then you rebuild the gates or something or other.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
I think we're going to see a lot of this discussion at FanFest because, these guys, they've met, CCP makes rats, new pirate factions and things on a semi-regular basis. They don't always make Incarna models for them. And they did that for the Jovian Drifters. Like, they actually, you've got like a little pilot portrait, you click on it, and hey presto, there's a Jove Borg dude going, ooh, you'll be assimilated, please pick up a new account, which I totally will.
Right, which I will
we're
be
all
as long as I can fly the Drifter battleship, we'll be good.
Yeah, this is seriously like the first time in a while that I have seen a genuine upswell amongst the players of please take my money, aimed at CCP. Like usually that usually that's not. Other people get the please take my money, but when it comes to the Jovian things, I would be really, obviously we're not going to be able to fly super drifter battleships, but I would be really excited to see what a Jovian frigate looks like. I mean, with that same kind of,
a fan of frigates.
Almost crystalline design style. But yeah.
Well, and there's a lot of different ways they can go with it, and I think right now they're just holding them to see which one they feel would work out best for EVE itself.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of opportunity for them to completely fuck it up.
Absolutely.
is the problem.
One of the things I think we can do, somebody's asking in chat here, when I have a brief interruption, somebody is saying, for the love of God, have Archimina message me the address on the forum so I can come to Iceworm. I will do that in a moment. I think we've actually invited members of the local Madison public to that, but I'm not sure. I don't want to actually spread that around without the hostess's permission. One of the things we are interested in doing for the Madison and Chicago area people, total tangent and talent. That's an interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting word.
Nice.
Freudian slip. I don't really think it has much to do with talent, but one of the things I was thinking about doing after visiting EVE meets in San Diego, the San Diego EVE community is very tightly knit, actually. Once a month in San Diego, they all get together at this really great barbecue joint called Kaminsky's, and they hang out with each other, and it's not really an alliance or a corporation thing. It's just, hey, we're all San Diego EVE players. Let's hang out and get to know each other. And, I've been looking at this. Goonstorm has been having parties in Madison for the CFC for a while. I'm kind of thinking about doing that something for the Madison-Chicago area, where, we go to one of the nice restaurants here in Madison or one of the nice beer halls. There is actually a German beer hall called the Essen House. If you've ever seen the movie Beer Fest, where they have the boots and then you drink the entire boot of beer, that's the Essen House. You eat peanuts and then you down obscene amounts of beer, which is a uniquely Madison experience.
I think you went through 14 of the boots last time we were there.
It was incredibly destructive.
I'd be able to drink
standards.
Half of one, maybe.
Well, you pass them around.
Well, yeah, you drink and pass. Drink and pass.
Exactly.
Okay, good. That's
whoever
good to know.
fails to drink to finish it, like the person on your left or on your right, I forget. If you finish it, the person to your left has to buy the
has to pay for it. Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
So I've been thinking to myself, and the people watching our stream may or may not be interested, but Madison is a nice little location. It's easy to get to from Milwaukee, easy to get to from Chicago, Minneapolis. Also, I'm lazy and I would be hosting it, so
hey,
fuck
that's
you.
pretty
I get
close
to do it.
to me.
Exactly.
I could fly in from Chicago, because Chicago, it's like an hour
Where
flight.
by fly in, you mean just get in your car and go up 90? Because I go down to Chicago for stuff all the time.
Well, that's a good point. Jim J brings up a good point. It's American beer, not Canadian beer, so I could have a lot more than what I'm thinking. It's a good point. Thank you.
That's right. I keep forgetting that you're not actually in Chicago. You're in Canada. Yes, you could fly in. It's relatively
I'm
easy
close.
to do.
I'm very close to Chicago.
So
By flight.
I think it costs me like $800 to get to Madison. It's ridiculous.
But,
Oh my God.
We're looking to do this probably a monthly thing, and if you guys are interested, I can't invite the public to the Archimina G-Cell party, but I can totally throw my own event and say, hey, let's all go to the Essen House on the first whatever of each month and meet and greet and have sort of a larger community event rather than just an alliance-specific thing. That way you can also find out exactly how silly my red shirts are in person and
I already know.
mock, and yes, they're very silly, and see how terrible this awful little goatee is. Right.
I think the next Goon meet I actually decided to go to in Madison, I think I'm going to have everyone buy a red shirt matching yours and have everyone show up in red shirts.
Well, I think that would be a really good idea because I'll tell you what, they'll look really good because red
my
shirts.
camera break?
Red shirts. No, your camera's just fine.
Okay.
You're good.
Good.
You haven't ruined anything. Everything's
Okay,
fine.
good.
But no, if everybody wears a red shirt, we'll all look almost as fabulous.
I can't
as
wear
me.
I can't wear red.
Because you'll vanish, like
Well,
you'll
yeah.
disappear. Okay.
I just don't look good in red. So onto topics that are in our Google's fancy Google Doc here.
Oh my.
The next thing we wanted to talk about was this people actually, and because you've brought it out a few times now, Laz, right?
Sorry, what?
We're talking about the people. Stop watching
You've
chat.
flown it, right?
Sorry. yeah, I've flown it twice now.
let's,
The first time didn't go out so well because I was tending an afterburner fit and I could not track anything I shot at.
Oh, whoops.
But that was mainly pirate error on my fault. But no, there's a lot of good fits for it. The artillery fits for it, kind of like a beefy Thrasher, were really good because you have the extra mid slots and you can use it kind of a kiting platform. I haven't flown it in 0-0 yet, so I'm not sure about 0-0, but low sec, it's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
I don't really know what to say about that. I actually asked our fitting team. One of the things about the T3 Mimitar destroyer, or rather the Svipple, which I love to say that. I mean, I'm totally mispronouncing it, but it sounds so obscene.
It does.
Hey, baby, do you want to see my Svipple?
I'm scared.
You should be scared. I'm scared. I don't know why
6
they
to
did.
12.
That was terrifying.
Especially with this thing, like, hey, baby, do you want to see my Svipple?
Oh god, just like upped your
Just-
douchebag level by like.
You didn't
I don't
think that
e-
was possible.
I didn't.
One wouldn't think that I could be more of a douchebag, and yet, with the power of the name Svipple,
You just did it.
I just did it. It's like Goku, right? You got like the Dragon Ball Z. You got your power level, your douchebag level. All right. So I actually asked our fittings team about the Svipple because the thing about it was, the Confessor is ridiculous. The Confessor is this amazing solo PvP ownmobile where you can probe things down and you can get away from everything using a 10 MN afterburner. You can put dual reps on it while doing all this stuff. So I was kind of curious to see whether the Svipple was as overpowered. Apparently, you can actually use it in fleets, unlike the Confessor as well. But I talked to Namamai and to Asher Elias and some of the guys on the Goonstorm fitting team and Lazai and Divil, and they said that it's basically like a Harpy, but with more EHP and less range and twice the cost. So another reaction was, in a meta, it's definitely a reaction from CCP to the Confessor being so strong. They didn't realize how great the 10 MN Afterburner Confessor fit was, and they adjusted the Svipul down to a place where, by comparison, it doesn't shine nearly as brightly.
Well, they tried to make it to where it would not be as agile as the Confessor, which means it's harder to kind of like keep a tight orbit and stuff like that while maintaining gun tracking and all that. And they also said they wanted to make the sequel more of a micro warp drive platform, not a 10MN, but the 10MN actually goes faster than the 1MN MWD, which is kind of backwards.
Does it actually work out relatively well, despite the fact that it doesn't have a tracking bonus? I mean, almost every projectile... and look, this is me saying this, and I know nothing about EVE Online. I'm famous for knowing very little. But almost every Minmatar projectile platform has an inherent tracking bonus to get over the fact that, the tracking sucks.
Well, they didn't give it a,
and they don't
give it
have
a tracking
one.
bonus,
Right.
because they try to force you into the sniper mode for the
Yeah.
T3.
Okay.
And which has a tracking bonus. So
I see.
So they don't want to give an inherent one and then have you be able to go on a tracking and then get an even bigger one.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, like for the ship, like looking at it and seeing a few people fly it, like even without having the tracking bonus, the sniper mode is definitely what I would prefer to fly it in, even if it didn't have all the bonuses. But yeah, I can see why they didn't want to give it a bonus.
You know, the truth is, I also, and this is a purely aesthetic thing, and it's tough because some of the Minotaur ships I think are just absolutely amazing. I mean, let's not forget how beautiful the Hurricane is. It's one of the most.
I love the Hurricane.
The Hurricane, the Thrasher, gorgeous ships. Tornado is just amazing.
Minotaur supremacy.
Yeah, Sorry. The Confessor's a great looking ship. The Drifter battleship, amazing stuff. All of the Mortis ships are, except for the Barghest, are really good looking. The Svipul doesn't do it for me. It looks kind of
really
no.
It looks like whenever it's not in the vertical mode, it looks like a hound, like just a really beefy hound.
You know what I see when back in the day when I was when I was a kid and I tried to learn my way around electronics, like I wanted to be like one of those radio fiddle around with like capacitors and crap and resistors and do your own little breadboards and electronics and crap from like Radio Shack. And I would like disassemble radios or whatever. And basically, to me, like the Svipul looks like somebody took the top off of an old school piece of electronics and like it's a board that has lots of bumps and nodules on it. And it basically looks like somebody stripped the top off of a radio to me. And like it doesn't really. I don't know.
Well, I think actually it looks a lot worse in vertical mode than it does when horizontal, in my opinion. Like, everyone appreciates the vertical ships and all, but it's not a Tornado or Naglfar.
The Tornado is beautiful. I mean, the Tornado is easily like one of the best looking ships in the game. Oh well, whatever. Aesthetics are difficult to discuss. I'm just not a fan. I like the Confessor. I can't wait to see more Drifter style ships with the crystalline stuff. If you guys have views on this, please let us know what you think in chat. Does anybody actually really think the Svipul looks awesome? Besides Nystrik. Okay.
I have such a bias for Minotaur ships. I love them.
Well,
I just think
I
they're
like
great.
Minotaur too. Except, I mean, okay, look. Tangent. The Rapier and the Bellicose hull, what the fuck? Why haven't they been revamped? Those have been consistently some of the most ugly and stupid looking ships in this game since 2003. They've revamped all these other ships, and those are cool ships. We fly them on the regular.
Yep.
Rapiers, Hugins, Bellicoses, statistically good ships.
They look like
they redid the X-Cure, and the X-Cure looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
That was amazing. That was a great looking revamp, and I've been pounding on this one for a while. Like I've been saying, even back since in the CSM days or whatever, in like 2010, 2011, I was like, if the art team who are doing these amazing revamps. I love the new Blackbird. I love the new Rook. I love everything they've done with the Eagle. Please, for the love of God, unfuck the Rapier Bellicose and Hugin hull. Like, I don't even know how to describe that thing to an outside observer. Like, what is it? What are those bits? There's like a toothpick sticking out, and it's got these... I'm actually, I can't even try to make a gesture to describe it with my hands without making it look like an obscene, like, Svipul sort of gesture. I don't know.
I don't know.
But,
I definitely want to get into Svipul, though.
The artillery, like a close range ammo, you're alphing for like 1900 damage, which is pretty high for a.
If it has a tracking bonus in sniper mode, can you actually use it with autocannons in sniper mode and get anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can. A lot of times though, you're using a brawling setup, so you want to have the damage resist bonuses from the defense mode. So you can't sit there orbiting with Tenem and AB going. You have to kind of. Try to pull away from them, which is more suited for artillery.
Right.
Force them to follow you.
Well, like the destroyer meta is like all about the Tenem afterburner in this day and age.
Yeah, well, my current fit is double web, scrambler, and then with links, and I keep with a double web and links, you can hold them at like 15k away from you where they can't get close enough because double web and scram, and you just rip them apart with artillery with 1900 damage per volley.
You're going to have to show me that fit so I can fly around with it, because that sounds perfect.
Now here's a question. With a double web, double web Svipul fit, can you actually catch and hold down a Confessor?
Yeah, but the issue is a Confessor can project damage a lot farther than most of the ships that you typically encounter.
I mean, it seems to me like in the situation we have with oversized afterburners, even I'll have to do the math and talk to people, like even if you have a double web situation, you can't scram them to turn the thing off. And I don't even think that a double web is enough to as long as they have a web themselves that they counter web you, that they can still maintain an advantage enough in speed to fuck off.
Right, but the issue is with double web, you're going to maintain more of a speed advantage if you're both using Tinman.
Oh, that's true. If you have a Tinman, now are you armor tanking that thing? And so you've got a
the only tank you have on it is a damage control and the small ancillary armor repair.
So you're basically range tanking and praying.
Right, and you're using the ancillary rep to kind of boost the small amount of damage you should be able to tank against.
And hoping that absolutely nobody else comes to the party and scrams or messes with you. Right. Because like when we went on that roam the other day with Sardcard, or however you pronounce his name, it was a lot of fun.
Stargate?
Yeah, Stargate. And we noticed that the confessors we were encountering, which were everywhere because they're awesome, that they would dive into these brawls with us, and we would get these amazing like faction warfare style brawls. I had more fights in such a short amount of time than I've had in EVE in a long time. I highly recommend it for everyone. We had a great time, but the confessor could dive in, muck around with like a fight of 5 or 6 different people shooting each other, engage multiple times, and had enough of a tank and speed to be able to disengage when needed to. A purely like range tank Svipple fit that you're talking about doesn't really sound like it could deal with ads very well.
It can, depending on what you're fighting against, because the whole purpose of it is to pull range away from the targets, and it doesn't work as well in 0-0, but like in low sec, whenever you're kind of inside these sites that people can't warp in directly to you, they have to warp through the gate. Then you can kind of predict where they're coming in. You can get 20k off that point, and then as people charge at you, you have both your webs overheated, and as soon as you get within web range, you double web them, and then you volley them, especially if it's a faction frag or something, and you're dropping 1900 damage volleys onto them, and with overheated guns every 5 seconds. You can volley them before they get within tackle range, because you're using overheated webs and everything.
Well, what we should do is get a completely overpowered like TMC staff room where we're all in either Svibbles or confessors, and we'll say we're so overpowered and like talk it up on the show, and then we'll all die in a fire in really embarrassing ways. I want to give a shout out to Jim J99 who just subscribed. Thank you.
And Poonkalarn.
Wow.
Also subscribed. So we got 2 subscribers. Thank you guys so much.
That's very nice. Thank you guys. This is our reward for actually showing that we can start doing preparation. Start the show on time.
But like you're talking about the Svieful versus Confessor, a dual rep Svieful versus a dual rep Confessor, the Svieful would probably win just because of Mimitar's super high EM resist.
Yep.
That's right. That's true. I forgot about the EM resist. But what I want to see at some point, and one of the type of ships that I've wanted to see in EVE for really a long time, is kind of like a Q ship in World War II or what have you, is like a kind of bait ship that's designed to look like a miner or to look like an Osprey or whatever.
That would be cool.
That is just like a tar baby that like comes in. The interesting thing about what CCP did with the Force Recon ships by removing them from the directional scan is that they're showing that they're allowing a degree of deception into the game mechanics itself, right? And I think, like, with the Q-ship class, if they're willing to make that kind of change, it would be really cool if you had this sort of type of ship that could masquerade as another ship as far as your overview was concerned until you engaged, and then suddenly it showed up as a different type of ship on your overview.
Whoops,
right?
I'm dead.
It shows up as a mining barge or shows up as something, and then somebody like your little high-speed Tin Inman, Confessor, or Svipple comes in and starts attacking it, and goes, oh wait, it's actually this other thing, and webs the crap out of it and kills it. Yeah, exactly.
Dead.
I think that would be hilarious. Like that kind of baiting gameplay.
I mean, it's already so easy to bait in this game. I don't know if they need to make it much easier.
Well, they need to make something that can actually catch and hold down.
I see what you're saying. It's supposed to just die, and then everyone else kind of warps in, and then the guy's dead, but at least your team is there now.
Right, because I mean, the thing is with like the Scram versus Disruptor meta is that people increasingly are using afterburners and things that have bonuses for afterburners simply because they can never be turned off. Especially we can use an oversized one in the case of like the niche situation of the Destroyer. There's no real way to stop that.
Well, that's what makes the Vexor Navy issue so good. Is the standard fit for the Vexor Navy issue is 100 in afterburner, and basically you drop geckos or drop some heavy drones, and then you just burn circles around them and until they actually kill your drones.
That's my favorite thing. Is just burning circles around people. Be like, you can't hit me.
Yeah, well, because they go at you with a scram, and a lot of these frigs in 0-0 don't actually fit a web. They'll fit just a scram, just thinking they're going to shut off your MWD, and you just laugh at them and keep.
And you never
away.
do. You're like, nope.
Yeah.
LOL.
Do people really do that?
Also-
Because I thought that everybody used Afterburn. Oh, I see. Because in 0-0, everybody has to fit an MWD so they can burn back to gates. Right. So you don't
Exactly.
get to
So-
roll
Also,
that.
a shout out to Defiler 101 for
And
another new
Pervious.
subscription.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Pervious. We got two
And
new
Pervious. Oh, that
Thank
one
you
just
so
popped
much,
up.
guys.
So thank you,
Wow.
Pervious.
That's excellent. I'm very pleased with this. We're showing some basic preparation.
Sub
mechanics.
hype.
Sub hype. Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't really know how to do it. What do we do? Do we like broadcast something on the screen?
I don't
or
even
sort
know.
of bounce up
Well,
and down
usually,
like idiots?
yes.
So
you make a
you
big
don't have it
deal
set
about
up to do it, but
Yeah.
no, like, and we I believe Nystrick actually started doing Sub Sunday last weekend, and I don't know if you're doing it
I didn't
again
get
tomorrow.
I didn't get any subs. I got quite a bit of followers though, so that was exciting. I will be doing it tomorrow,
Followers are
and
good.
hopefully once Laz gets his internet sorted, which
Well,
soon.
if you're playing, I can just play games with you tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
If you're, so
I
just let
play
me know what
League
you're playing.
mostly though.
That's fine.
I gotta
I
get
can play
another
some League.
game. Okay, cool.
All right.
I'm really bad.
I'm just
Look
checking
at
out to
Laz's beard.
see.
No, I'm not.
It cannot
I'm
be
not
done
licking
from here.
Laz's beard, and Matani can do that if he wants to. Not gonna be me though.
Namamai is giving me some analysis here about this people. I asked him for a data dump, and he managed to get this to me in time. I found it hiding over here in my Jabber window. So Namamai is LRRM, and he's probably one of the best fitting guys that I've ever seen. And we've watched some of our other alliances in EVE start talking about coming up with Swipple doctrines, and we've been trying to analyze that. So here's Namamai's take on it. He says, the lack of tracking issue is tricky. It's notable for two reasons. One, because it's one of the only two Minmatar small ships that don't have a tracking bonus. It gets a small tracking bonus in sharpshooter mode, but it's weaker than the bonus on most Minmatar frigates and destroyers. A lot of people think, oh, autocannons track well, but it's because everything has the bonus. So while an AC Svipul can track well enough, it won't be as good as most people expect. Second of all, because all the range bonuses on the Swipple are optimal instead of fall-off, it's very clearly trying to encourage artillery. And
Right.
combining artillery with no tracking bonus tends to be tricky for those times that you're not actually in the sharpshooter mode. He also says that Hard Knocks has been putting out some really amazing videos of the Swipple with a 10 MN autocannon fit with links absolutely dominating groups of multiple Cinnables.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to go dig up those videos and take a look at them because
Yeah,
that
for
sounds
sure.
quite interesting.
This ship is completely like the Orthrus, which is just a piece of shit without links.
Right.
Sveful it completely shines when you're able to add links to it, and it's kind of one of those things that has to have them.
I have kind of a question about links because, now that my internet connection is stable, thanks again to my friend Vinod T at Charter for fixing all of this and allowing me to host the stream and not constantly vanish. One of the things that I'm curious about links is how difficult is it in practice for you to multi-box and move your link ship around as you're roaming? Like, do you just get used to
It's not hard.
Or
Yeah,
not
I
that
mean,
bad, yeah.
I use IS Boxer to kind of maintain my windows, and then you just kind of move it. You try to keep it ahead of your ship
Right.
at all times, and that way you kind of know what you're jumping into, and then you make safe spots as you warp around.
How much lag does that add into the system? Does it really? Are you able to roam really quickly? Do you have to worry about your link ship ever getting caught and killed, or do you put it one of those crazy?
You need to make sure you have probes on your O-view and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
So when you're sitting in your safe spot, you want to constantly be swapping screens and scanning.
Yeah.
And you do lose link ships sometimes because you forget that you have it on your other screen sitting on
It's
a
like
gate.
Mr.
Yeah.
V losing Covops on a gate. Yeah, almost every
I
time
was
that I've
gonna
tried
say-
FC, I focus on doing things, and then oh hey, I lost another Covops. over
I've
here.
definitely I've never flown a link ship before, but I've definitely had both my ships up and in space and flying around at the same time, and it definitely slows down the process a little bit. But it's not because of lag; it's because I'm trying to make sure that both my ships are fine and are not going to get picked off. I mean, it's
Also, more, sorry to interrupt you, but more
No.
sub hype. We have another sub.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how to pronounce it though, because it's got a lot of threes in it.
D3N3R0TH. Just
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
going
you
to
for
try
the
to give the
subscription.
guy a shout out, but sub hypo. We also have a user question here that we'll do a Q&A later, but I'm going to handle this one real quick. So sort of an abrupt change of topic here. Kara Fudger is asking, what would happen to the CFC if I simply vanished for a week?
Can I answer this question?
You go ahead.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Basically, the entire this kind of goes into a story time about my Spy Master days and stuff that I used to do. So I'm going to let everybody in the chat decide whether they want to actually hear me run my mouth. about
That's
this.
the point of the show. They don't get a choice.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess I'm in charge. I get to run my mouth about whatever I want because it's the meta show. One of the things that there's a certain class of alliance in Eve. It's a structure that we see replicated an awful lot. Where I call them like the Hold Superman's Cape alliances, where there's like one guy and people are already calling for the spin zone, so we'll go ahead and give them exactly the spin zone that they want.
Yes.
There we go.
Do it.
I love this. Once again, thank you so much to Prague for giving us this lovely spin zone graphic. When we eventually fire me and have Elise Randolph or Vince Draken come and run the meta show for a week, we will give them a spin zone graphic that actually shows. Oh, we totally want to do that. That's something that we're looking on doing now that we're getting into production.
I should get Elise to come on this weekend.
We're gonna say like, look, it's not a Goonstorm thing. Here, like Vince, come talk shit about Goonstorm, talk shit about whatever you want. Elise, same deal. Manny, whoever wants to come on here and host the show, as long as they have something interesting to say, we'd be delighted to have them. But anyway,
we did just get another subscriber as well, which it's actually, I believe it's vulgar, so we're going to read it the same way it's supposed to be read anyways. So, Sexy Cock, thanks for the subscription, buddy.
Oh, is that what that is? I was like, this is a pun of some sort. I'm just trying to understand what exactly there's play on words going on.
It is well
here.
done.
Yeah, all right.
So the whole thing with these alliance structures with Hold Superman's Cape type alliances is you have one guy who is usually an FC who ends up being an alliance leader, and when he is there and he's doing everything, everybody loves it. But it's all a single person dependency, and when they don't delegate, they run all the fleets, they tell everybody what to do. The classic example of this is Atlas Alliance back in the day. Bobby Atlas did everything, and he was great. He was a really good alliance leader. People talk shit about him, but when Bobby Atlas was around, Atlas existed, and he had the entire thing on his back. It was all very Randian, I guess you'd say. And then when he vanished, or when he was on, and the dude burned out because he was doing everything, he was living in Eve, and then the entire alliance fell apart. So the CFC and Goonswarm, well, obviously I don't structure how our allies do things, but Goonswarm is structured that I can literally just be gone and tell people what to do on my phone if they need it. But we have a completely delegated structure. That means that, if I get hit by a bus or something like that, the show keeps going.
Let's hope that doesn't
It
happen.
also depends on what state of the alliance is at that time. Like if we're in like war mode, then a lot of the stuff that actually gets taken care of is done by the FCs, like myself, Mr. V, and stuff like that, and then Blarf and all those people. But I mean, peacetime is the iffy part because everyone's just running wild.
Peacetime is crazy because everybody.
I would hope that every alliance has the ability, like if one person were to disappear, that it wouldn't be a big deal. Because having experience with when that happens, you lose wars when one person who's in charge of doing a lot of things just suddenly goes, I'm just not here, and no one knows why. Joel Snug just subscribed. We got another subscriber. Thank you.
Blaze.
This is interesting. We're sort of getting to a point where like we are getting enough subscribers so rapidly. Let's
hope his posting gets hit by a bus.
Oh,
Mr.
V.
Wow.
Was that Mr. V? Did he say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's hysterical.
The truth hurts, and my posting probably should get hit by a bus. It is interesting. We actually have a whole pile of people watching. I didn't realize this. We have.
We're gonna need like a subtrain counter next time, like all those big popular streams.
Yeah, oh wow! Well, I'll have to learn how to do TweetDeck or something like that. But no, not TweetDeck. T-board. That's what I mean.
You don't have it running still? Wow.
I had an adventure.
It takes like 10 minutes, man.
Like when I was trying to like recover from the GSOL party, Ice Storm, and like get my room set up with my lighting, where I'd been putting a mattress from my daybed, like one of those little tiny thin IKEA mattresses. It's like the perfect height to lay up against one of the windows in my office, and then everything's fine. I'm getting set up for the show. I'm putting a micro green screen, whatever, and the thing falls down. So instead of setting up T-board or doing anything, most of my adventure in the pre-show prep this time around has been running around using masking tape to put garbage bags over my windows. So it probably looks to my neighbors like I'm growing weed.
Yes.
Here, which is pretty hilarious. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm pretty happy with the way in which the CFC is structured, because it means that people can have lives. Obviously, if we're in the middle of a war or something, the leader needs to be around. The FCs can pretty much handle things without me at this point. the difficulty is if I ever sort of write myself out of a job and all of my guys look around and go, why do we need this guy with his terrible goatee and his awful red shirts? We can just do things without him. He's delegated things so much that, it's just screw him and his silly hair. All right, so that was a quite a tangent and our first dose of Spin Zone, which is actually pretty good because we really haven't had too much happening in EVE itself as far as big news goes.
Right.
Pandemic Legion did move back towards catch again now that they've stopped the Solar and Black Legion Advance on Next Death.
They're in LGK right now, PL.
Yeah, LGK, I believe.
And that's insane,
which is
right?
insane.
Mm-hmm.
But they just had a fight yesterday in Catch where they lost pretty much their entire Tempest fleet.
Oh, rip.
Oh, really?
That sucks.
Yeah, they pretty much lost all their Tempests besides, looks like, maybe 10 or 15 of their Tempests made it out. They lost them to Brave.
That's awesome.
And then they jumped in their Wrecking Ball fleet, I guess, to kind of recover some dignity.
Oops, we lost our battleships. Well, here's 100 carriers. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Yeah. No, that actually is kind of amusing. I saw one of my directors link me a Reddit thread. Apparently, like, there's not a guy in Brave, but there was a guy in one of their member corps who'd written this hilarious like tinfoil Reddit thread about how Goonswarm is secretly at war with them. And we're totally gonna go ahead and Spin Zone here. But yeah, like apparently Goonswarm is actually over in Catch. I think one of our squads might be over there, but I was like,
the big Euro boat went down there with Gobbin's claws, that were basically their artillery claws that warp in. Like, they kill stuff and then they warp immediately back out.
Gobbin's claws, like the stabbed out claws.
Yeah, the Admiral Gabarius made up one of their FCs for Pandemic Legion FCs, that boats that took down there, and basically it warps on grid. It instantly alphas something with artillery, like Hugin's, Scimitars, Scythes, like basically anything that's not your main DPS ship that can instantly get alphaed by small artillery gets wiped off the field, and then they immediately fleet warp out.
Wow. Also, shout out to Deranged and Raving, who just subscribed. This is like an escalating thing. I know. I don't know why all of a sudden everybody has decided to subscribe. Maybe it's because I finally got the color balance right. Sub-hype.
Sub-hype, man.
Sub-hype. That's what you gotta attribute it to.
I guess I'd lick you or something.
Most like a lot of streams will actually have a sub-train counter, and if
I wish that we had one. Now I'm sad.
Every time someone subscribes, there's a 5-minute timer, and then every time someone subscribes within that 5 minutes, it resets the timer.
Oh,
then,
wow.
Usually when you get to like a certain number with sub-hype, you like do something big, but unfortunately we can't lick Laz's beard because no one is within Laz licking area.
We could shave my goatee. I keep talking about doing this because for
some reason...
Are
we going to do it today? Can we do it today?
No, I'm not prepared for it. No. I'm not prepared.
Every 5 subs, guys, we'll extend the show another hour.
We'll do a thing. We'll hype it up so that we...
just kidding.
We're like...
I don't have that long.
It'll save me from the dangers of the GSOL party killing me and all of my friends. We'll probably do a thing about that where we broadcast in advance so that people can watch the great, shaving.
Okay.
That'll be a thing. Okay, so we should probably actually like talk about EVE Online.
You want to talk about CCP revamps. You want to talk about newbie experiences.
Yes.
Right, actually. So this is huge, right? So in the pre-FanFest run-up, like we've got Drifters, we've got the Svipple. I try to get really close to my microphone to make it Svipple.
I don't like it. Stop it.
I know, exactly. It's making you squirm. It's pretty
like
hilarious.
Word moist. Moist.
Moist actually doesn't bother me that much. I just shout it at Prelate every time he's around because he hates it, but yeah.
So what happens? What do you do when your Svipple's moist?
Oh my god.
That was really like,
Just asking.
I'm done.
Anyway.
Yeah.
At any rate, so let's talk about the newbie experience. One of the things about the new Tech 3 Minmatar Destroyer and the Drifters and all these other things that are coming out on Tiamat, and the last patch, the name of which I've already forgotten. Do you guys even remember what the last patch's name was?
Sort of the P, I think.
Proteus? Okay, thank you. So, they're very clearly in the run-up to FanFest. We're not getting too much actually coming out in content. And the kind of content that we're having is, it's good. Confessor, Svipple, Drifters, that's nice stuff. But it's not really much in the way of new design ideas. Unless I missed a memo or something, we haven't really seen something that is like a new concept from CCP in a few months. And one of the things that I'm quite excited about Because, we can add more content. You can add more zones in the MMO that's essentially, reskinned mobs, whatever. What really shows you the direction that the company is going in is the sort of the quality of the brain trust, the ideas in terms of design coming out of the designers, which is of grave concern to most of us in the people who have SOV community with the discussion of the upcoming SOV revamp, or lack of discussion because they still haven't said anything. So what I was really happy to see was this blog that Rise posted the other day regarding what they're calling opportunities, which is a complete revamp of the tutorial experience. Now, the tutorial in EVE is infamous as being worst in class.
It's
CCP
so
knows
bad.
it. All of the players know it. This has been a thing that we have been talking about. The game came out in 2003, so it's been like 12 years now. This is terrible. Every time they try to fix it, it still sucks.
The first time I logged on and tried to do stuff, the tutorial was like, okay, now undock. And I was like, how the fuck do I undock? And then you figure out how to undock, and it's like, for future reference, the undock button is here. And I was like, thanks, I just spent 45 minutes trying to fucking find it, you assholes.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I would have
just
quit the game if it
ridiculous.
wasn't for a friend showing me how to play.
I
Right?
tried to spin up one of our new staffers on TMC who has a lot of editorial experience, but has never really played that much in terms of EVE. He follows it, but in it. So he's like, "All right, dude, I need you to help me with the tutorial or something." I'm like, "Why? What do
is
you
no
need?"
help.
And he's like, "Well, I didn't think I need to ask you for help on this, but I've already had to restart the game on 2 different trial accounts because I got lost in the tutorial and the windows would vanish and I wouldn't know where they'd go." And this is a guy who's trying
happens a
to
lot.
do it, and he's a very, very smart guy. So I mean, that's just some impressive design. We should basically give out a Razzie Award for gaming. I'm sure somebody's already done this for terrible design examples. Anyway, so that's talking shit about stuff we already know. The good news is that the opportunities thing really solves one of the biggest problems that I have with the tutorial is that it's a series of micro missions and they're non-linear. So you're essentially presented with a list of what looks like achievements, essentially, and Rise has posted in the features and idea thread some of the areas where he and his team are thinking about expanding opportunities. And so instead of going, okay, I'm in EVE Online and your first experience is this nightmare textbook linear progression, heading out into a sandbox game where you can do anything and it's not linear and you have to set your own goals, they've actually come up with an idea where you have non-linear tutorial, micro missions and objectives that interest you, because the current tutorial is like, hey, congratulations, you're gonna mine now.
Right.
Well,
I remember
what
that
if-
mission.
Yeah, fuck that. Who? I mean, some people like it, I guess, and I'm not going to be judgmental. I'm totally being judgmental, but fuck that. And I'm like, oh wow, here I am mining an asteroid, and I've got to do this to get through the next tutorial where I can learn how to actually violence something with a spaceship or whatever. So I'm really pumped about seeing opportunities. I think it's a great idea. It's something that they can expand and iterate on each patch. Everybody can kind of get together and say, here's what we want to do. It's easier to expand on too, because since they're not linear, you can be like, here's an opportunity to go do a thing, and there's 5 little steps to it, and it's just easy to. It looks like it's easy. I mean, obviously, I can dev my way out of a paper bag, but I think it's great, and I think it's really nice to see a genuinely novel and intelligent approach to this terrible yoke around EVE Online's neck. I mean, how are we going to expand the size of this community if people who are smarter than me, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I can avoid drowning myself in a rainstorm. People who are smarter than me are going, I've had to make 3 characters because the tutorial keeps shitting itself and I can't follow it. How do I get into this game?
My biggest issue with it was that I couldn't actually get the tutorial windows to close. And I was like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Shut up. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, you're a new player. I mean, you're an existing player, and you want to give CCP more money by making a new account. And here's this tutorial. Go fuck
That
yourself.
you can't turn off.
You can't get rid of it. It's terrible.
What?
On one of my main accounts, they still pop up, and
Oh my god.
it's infuriating.
You're like, I can't.
It's literally one of my FC alts, and it just keeps popping up. I was like, I think I
know,
figured it out.
thank
by
you.
now.
Shut up. Go away. Yeah. So
Thank you, nice lady, but I know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, from a business perspective, and this is the thing that gets me, people forget that games are businesses. People like to idealize games. Games are entertainment. They are toys. They are fun little things we play, and they are a product. You want to make it as easy as possible for someone to play with the toy or the game or what have you. And thus, from my perspective, actually, the single most important aspect of any game, especially an MMO one, is the new player experience, because that's what gets people to bite off on the rest of this. And Eve, you basically have this like frat house style hazing ritual, which might be why the game is 98% male, because us boys are the only ones dumb enough to go, oh hey, so you want me to suffer for 2 hours and get paddled on the ass in order to learn how to actually play the game? Sure, sign me up. Let's play some beer pong.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah, so like I don't really know. I'm hoping that they do this opportunities thing, that it works out well. I wish them all the best, and I seriously, unironically suggest all of our viewers to go to the features and ideas thread. In fact, I am so serious business about this that I am going to look over here, go to the Eve forums, find that thread, and link it in the stream. And
you mean the dev blog, you mean?
Yeah, the dev blog, and
they've
also
got a
there is
forum post up
they've got a
for
forum
things,
post up.
I just like the dev blog, so.
Yeah, and Rise has a whole bunch of additional posts expanding upon what he's looking to do in this.
Then there's the fern as well.
Yeah.
Got it.
So please, guys, for the good of the game, real talk, help CCP out. Go ahead and get into this thread. And suggest ideas for future opportunities and refinements on the system, because for all of the organizations that bring newbies into this game, the hardest part is getting people to fight through the damn tutorial.
Yeah, getting people to stay in it and stick with it. Like if you don't have someone hand-holding you through tutorials, 9 times out of 10 you don't get through it.
Yeah, it's bad, and we want more of our friends to play this game, because when they have all these adventures and we do something crazy like BR5, Laz runs around and owns everybody, or Manny and Elise do cool stuff, and the BBC comes and says, Eve Online, and hell, actually, it's gotten to the point where the guy who does my hair, actually, one of his friends was showing him videos of BR5, and he's like, and he's not really a big game guy. He's like, is this that game you play? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that was actually, we kind of had something a little bit of a thing to do with that, and I would like to then say to these guys who want to come into the game during all the hype, like, yeah, sure, check it out. But I don't really push it. I don't really go, oh yeah, you should play the game, because it's basically like, come nails into your balls with a hammer.
The problem with inviting someone to come play this game is then you're responsible for teaching them how to play the game, and that's a lot of responsibility.
It's a big obligation, and also, what will they think of you, right? Like, come play Eve, and they're first, if they don't get past the tutorial, they're like, you do this for fun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which also, Dirk Smacker, I saw it pop up in chat. Thanks for the resub. I think he's 3 months resubbed. So appreciate that donation to us.
All of the sub hype.
Yes, all the sub hype.
But yeah, so I'm very happy about the opportunities thing, and I'm really excited to see some of the future ideas that are coming from this brain trust, because it's nice to see some new gameplay concepts that we can all kind of agree are positive and great solutions to difficult, thorny problems that have cursed this community. And so that makes me feel pretty hopeful for FanFest, that if these guys can come up with opportunities, maybe the Sov revamp won't be like Dominion.
Yeah,
famous last words.
They definitely, the new release cycle, I like the new release cycle. However, some people are also going to be very disappointed, because instead of having these big releases, twice a year? No, what was it? 4 times a year they did them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you're swapping to where you have big things coming in these big packages, but now you're having so many intermittent updates that you're not going to have these big god features anymore.
Right.
So things are going to look like there's like boring updates like Proteus, like you don't see much happening, but since it's more releases, it's going to look like that.
I don't think that's necessarily the case, because like things like Phoebe, that was a huge update. Like there was a lot of changes there. Nice Trick, are you okay? You had. I can't hear you.
She's still muted.
Yeah, she's muted. I don't think she realizes she's muted. Hi. Good of you to join us.
I did not realize I was muted.
That's pretty hilarious. Let's see. So that covers basically the new opportunity stuff, and suggesting that people go check that out. Do we really have anything else? I mean, people are there. There's some CSM hype, I guess.
There's CSM stuff yeah. and anything else for FanFest that you guys might wanted to add. I don't know.
And then some question and answers.
Okay, well, we still don't have any idea who's actually the bands playing at FanFest, which is interesting because we're now less than like a month away from FanFest, and so I'd kind of like to know who is going to be cool to listen to. Like, do we have Z-Trip? Because I go to FanFest to party and dance with my friends, not to take notes about spaceships, which would be great.
Nice has subscribed.
Nystrick has subscribed.
Yeah, everyone was like, Nystrick, you have to subscribe.
There
and I was
you
like,
go.
okay. So it's done.
That's pretty hilarious.
Fun fact that Matani's not subscribed to his own channel either.
Well, no.
I don't even know whether I can subscribe to my own channel.
You can. I think you can.
That's interesting.
I'm sub to the channel.
Oh, okay.
Well, now
Nice
I'm
trick
gonna get guilt tripped about this. That's interesting.
Let's do it.
I gave you my $5.
So, FanFest stuff I don't really know too much about that we've seen. There's discussions about doing this tournament that I think we talked about last time. We also have, on the CSM stuff, I guess they've gone through the process of actually like getting the formal list of candidates yet, or like the admissions are closed for that. Let's take a look at that.
Isn't there like 60 people or something?
Well, there's usually a huge number of people who apply for the CSM,
Right.
and because of the way in which the voting lists work, like you think you've got 60 people on the CSM, but if you're having 14 people on it, that means that there's essentially only 4 people competing for every spot, and like 90% of the candidates actually don't have a chance in hell because they don't have a voting block or they don't have anybody. Nobody, like, just because you throw your hat in the ring doesn't mean that you're going to get anywhere.
Speaking of which, I believe the CFC voting ballot is going to be passed out or being made soon.
Our official party roster.
Yes.
I really
says there's 76 people and one just got kicked for prawn. Can't tell if serious or not.
got kicked for
Porn.
Well, Noisy Gamer has been covering a lot of the CSM
He
stuff.
spelt it prawn. It's porn.
That's interesting. One of the nice things about Noisy Gamer is that he's probably one of the best analysts of any of the gritty issues that happen in EVE. Like, his blog is fascinating. He usually focuses on issues relating to tracking the RMT markets, but he seems to be focusing on the CSM this time around. So shout out to him. Big fan of his, actually. I actually
just found his blog last week, and
no, it's awesome. Like, dude's a really good writer, and he does the kind of research that a lot of people are unwilling to do because it takes a ton of work. One of the interesting things about this CSM run is, for the CFC voting block, we've seen Zenuria participating in Tweet Fleet Slack, which is like this community thing, and Zenuria has joined it, and he takes it very seriously, and he's participating quite consistently in the CSM block. And so I was kind of thinking that might kind of like our potential plan to demolish Providence and put the real Lamar Emperor in charge, which is something I am still interested in doing, guys. Don't fear.
Funny.
Like we were talking about it at the Goon Meet last night. It's like, maybe we should do this Providence thing. Like, I need to talk to Elise about something about that and see because we have to project power to the other side of the galaxy and blah 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 blah. But these things take preparation and effort. But kind of in the same vein of the possibility of replacing the Amar leadership with the real Emperor, we might want to, I'm thinking because he's taking it so seriously, on the CFC voting ballot, I'm seriously considering putting Zenuria on the CSM, on the CFC roster, because I think that he has a very interesting perspective and that it would be valuable for people in Reykjavik to hear it repeatedly over the course of an entire year. Being put in a channel to interact with him, because he has some fascinating things to say and he's very diligent and he does his homework.
Sign up for Tweet Fleet Slack, and that was the first thing I saw was him going off on some of that stuff.
Well,
which is it's interesting because not many people typically listen, but if you actually take the time to read it, some of it actually has some merit.
This is totally not because I want to make Scion and Indy, the Goonswarm candidates, suffer for an entire year. This is actually me being serious. This is my serious face, right here. Mm-hmm. Serious face. Zenuria for CSM.
Noisy said that'd be the appropriate role play for us to take over, probably. Because of the storyline stuff that was released recently, where
Jamil 1 is getting taken over by, quote, the other, unquote.
Right.
Taking probably
because she's been out of like the public eye for weeks or something, and she's been missing like public appearances and stuff. I read it on the Mahai.com actually.
Oh dear, lore scares me. Well, that's the thing, is that Goonswarm has never really been very big on role-playing, and we've often disparaged it, and kind of like, we're adopting new perspectives on many things. So similar to our reevaluation of Zenuria and his, I think, political acumen and the valuable things he has to say, similarly, I don't think that we've taken role-playing seriously enough, and we should probably dive into the lore. And go to Providence and use that as an opportunity to show people that Goonswarm and the CFC does care about role playing. We do take it seriously, and that we're absolutely not going to ruin anybody's immersion.
Oh dear.
All right, I can't maintain a straight face for that long.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. All right, I gotta.
Indy does not like the idea.
Oh man.
Scenario.
Oh man. No, like I can seriously, I can only do that so long. Like,
You got to stretch your face.
Yeah, I got nothing.
That's funny.
All right.
Oh god.
Oh man, no. I mean, I'm a very cruel man. I don't think I'm so cruel that I would actually put Zenuria on the CSM ballot. But it would be kind of interesting if there was a community groundswell. Not that I would suggest such a thing, to troll the hell out of everyone involved by actually.
Oh no.
Time to grandstand.
Not saying, just saying. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about taking questions and answers from our guys while we get ready to give away some Svipples.
We also had we also had two resubs.
Like she's like,
being creeped out.
Like watching nice
Zand and Steel Horse. We had two resubs from, and I think I might have missed one as well. So if I've missed you, speak up in chat, and I'll give you a shout out. But other than that, I appreciate you guys contributing to the channel.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Someone did ask before, ND Post said it, but apparently K-Color had said it first. A better question is, what would happen to the CFC if Matani was in charge for an entire week?
If I actually
And I agree, that is a much better question.
that would be pretty terrifying.
That was what K-Color asked Illuminati, that ND pasted into.
Oh, okay, I was wondering.
So Illuminati leaks.
Illuminati leaks,
We're gonna
here
have
we
to
go.
invoke the Deluxy protocol here.
Deluxy.
That's interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and get some questions from the community. In the meantime, we are going to give away our first Svipple. As usual, the policy, guys, because we had somebody who got a confessor late after winning last time around. When you message the Twitch channel, not the channel that's in chat, but actually sending a message on Twitch to the Matani.com's Twitch account, make sure that you include your character name in the game if you are one of our lucky winners. Otherwise, I won't know who to contract your prize to, and that's kind of important.
Sub-hype.
Oh my, all of the sub-hype.
Another sub, Muxa. Which Muxaka
Germ. How do you say that?
He's actually on my stream every single night that I stream.
That's awesome.
On the game, he's no spet, but yeah, it's no spet is what he would first go by apparently.
Gotcha.
But no, it's awesome.
Alrighty, we have. Okay, actually, Prague went ahead and sent me an amazing little GIF here that I've got to use.
On stream.
I got to put it on stream, and so we're going to be hotfixing this while we do our first giveaway, and we're taking questions. Why don't we, guys, put your questions in chat. I'm going to do my level best to get this on here such that this isn't wasted.
Astronautic asked the Matani, why don't you get Labs better internet? And the answer to that is, I'm getting business class for Comcast this Wednesday. So
it's happening.
Hopefully that takes care of my issues.
The question is going to be whether we actually get a chance to. Let's see. We're going to add this, and can you use an image that's a GIF when you're adding it into OBS?
Yes.
Yeah,
you
so.
just add it as an image.
Okay. God's help us. So our first giveaway is going to be, I think we've taken enough questions here. Get your questions in. You probably have about 45 seconds before we start doing crazy things here. And then spamming the chat channel with an awful lot of random images and what have you.
More sub-hype. Punky260 has just subscribed.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Loving
this sub-hype train. I wish we had a counter.
All the sub-hype. Okay, so actually, no, go away. I have to make sure that I'm not going to screw this up. We are doing live edits on OBS.
This is happening
as we speak. God's help us all. And this is a shout out to Prague, who made an even better version of the Spin Zone, Factor 5 Spin Zone. That's only in GIF form right now, so it's a little grainy. We do actually have a MP4 we'll have, so it's an even faster spin cycle. I see how it is. It'll be funny if we get like a Factor 10 version where like the little TCU is zipping around like a washing machine.
You can't even see the
Exactly. It escalates in spin. Like at first it starts spinning slowly and then just goes faster and faster as I start talking.
So Azure and Argent asked, why did N3 go back home to the Southwest? I thought they went somewhere to fight stuff.
Well, people can't really go places in, N3's in a situation where, there's two N3s that you want to talk about. So they're talking about going back to the Southwest. What they're probably referring to is NC. Darkeshi, Darkness, and Kadeshi. They kind of had to go back and defend that territory because the Southwest CFC was attacking things and blowing things up. There was a under-the-table treaty of sorts, an agreement between Darkness and the CFC not to blow up each other's crap because it's useful to have frenzies who are also enemies for enemies kind of thing without anybody blowing up structures because structure shots suck and nobody really wants to take any more space. The leader of Darkness was away for a couple days, and one of his lesser FCs went off and shot a CFC R64, which broke that, and the Southwest CFC went over the border and started blowing up stuff, attacking CSAs, things like that. So, the thing about Phoebe is you have to live in the territory that you want to defend, so you can't really deploy far away. So that's, I make the distinction between N3 being NC. Darkeshi and Darkeshi in the Southwest, and sort of the rest of N3, which isn't really, kind of a different entity now. Nulli Secunda, Gentlemen's Club, and the guys in Tenerife and Deterid and all that. When you have such an expanded territory of space, like it's tough to defend that crap, especially when you have a bunch of Russians trying to kill you. So if you want to hold it, live there. I mean, that's what we do. Or don't hold anything, which is what PL does, which is probably a smarter thing, but we're dumb and bad at this game, and so we like to have flags planted in space.
So the other question, which relates to the CSM, which I think is a good question, and an opportunity for you to spin zone some stuff. Can you explain the importance of voting the CSC ballot for the CSM as opposed to just picking whoever sounds good?
All right, well, we will use our new graphic again just to show that. So the reason why the CFC has a standard ballot is that freedom and choice paralysis is a huge issue. Actually, people can do whatever the hell they want, but the fact of the matter is that the entire basis of the CFC is that usually you trust your leadership because your leadership demonstrates value to you as a line member because we're constantly giving you free shit and victories and wins. You don't have to pay for your ships as long as you're PvPing. You get all this free crap, we're not embezzling your stuff, and we've got this huge brain trust, and we're also very politically manipulative. So, we can't check to see whether people are going to vote, but the fact is that the common line member in nullsec has really a very skeptical view of the CSM. Like, it's not like people are particularly engaged. We know that there's very little interest in the CSM because whenever we run articles on TMC regarding the CSM, they rate worse than, crap. I mean, they do worse than dust articles.
Oh dear.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's how bad it is. So the reason why most of the blocks end up creating these ballot rosters is that the process of doing the research and the investigation is the same reason why political parties show candidate lists, is because the people who you already trust, assuming you do trust them, have gone through, done the work, assembled the list, and say, look, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to grind through all this crap to figure out what order this is. This is the optimal ballot based upon what we believe. And if you buy into what we believe and you already trust us, just there you go. You have just been saved hours and hours of grinding through Jita Park or whatever they're calling it these days to read what random puppy number 64 out of 73 has their personal views about whatever. We grind through the crap. We give you a list. If you want to use the list, great. If you don't, whatever, who cares? But that's why the blocks have their power. It's not because nobody has the ability to check what you voted. All the blocks do this, and it's not because we have guns to the back of our heads of our guys. It's that most people are not terribly, a lot of people just don't even believe in the CSM, particularly after, the last couple. I mean, One of the reasons why Scion has made a name for himself in terms of blogging on the last CSM is that he's been very open about criticizing the entity and saying, like, look, here's a bunch of people who are basically bootlicking sycophants. Here's a situation where they're only actually getting listened to at a summit. Like, he's been scathing about the process, and that actually gives him a tremendous amount of credibility. But anyway, that's a very lengthy answer to your question, but there you go. So we should have that published for our guys soon.
Noisy says, if I put CSM in the title of a post, I see traffic go down 20%.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, the hard fact of the matter is just like real talk here, and this is not actually Spin Zone. This is just how it is. The CSM is a lever that can be used to project power and attention on issues, but you have to have a politically savvy attitude towards it.
Right.
The thing is that somebody who is very earnest and naive, which includes a lot of recent CSM candidates, they think that if you just go up there and participate in the democratic process or whatever, and just talk to CCP, then suddenly they're going to listen to you and take you seriously and give a fuck, and it's going to change the game. That is obviously not the case. What actually happens is that title, the fact that the CSM exists, is something that people who don't have their heads up their ass can use to go to the media and say, you gaming media people should listen to me because I've got this shiny little title that CCP gave me, and then use the spotlight and the pressure that comes from that to either, that becomes a carrot and stick. You go to the media and you praise CCP for doing things that are good and helpful, which is what we did on CSM6, and you highlight the stuff that is terrible that needs to change, as happened during the Ankara crisis.
It's one of those things, like, like the CSM, and I think it was Sion's article where he was like, CSM has a lot of potential, but it's obviously not being used. And someone asked me last week on my stream, Nystrik, when are you gonna throw your hat in for the CSM? And the answer is never, for two very important reasons. Reason number one, no. Reason number two is that I want the CSM to be more than what it is, and me throwing my hat in when I know literally nothing about anything about EVE would be useless and pointless.
It's also an unpaid volunteer position. I mean,
right.
You're basically, if you're really engaged in it, and one of the reasons why I'm very happy, I'm never running for CSM again, but if the power of the CSM comes from the media and the ability to interface with the media, and then CCP listens to that, it's obviously easier to just be the media, which we're kind of doing anyway. And more fun.
Check.
Yeah, exactly. Whoop. Okay, so I mean that's interesting, but like the other thing about it is, like, if you really want to engage with the process, it's a massive time sink. Like, we're talking 4 hours a day or more to do it. You're not getting paid. The next version of it, you're not even going to get a free trip to FanFest to reward you for singing those 4 hours a day. And
yeah, I think that was shocked the hell out of me, because I mean they get literally nothing out of it, but then taking away FanFest is why bother?
It is interesting, but the thing is that there's like a bell curve of engagement from the player representatives, because like if you're there and you're spending 4 hours a day trying to engage with CCP or do the whole CSM dance, but then there's guys there who literally just phone it in and never show up for anything, then you're wondering, why am I sinking all these hours into it? I mean, in the case of our representatives, the guys the CFC sends, we don't send starry-eyed idealists. We send people who are, first of all, adults. Like, the average age, I mean, Scion is in his mid to late 30s. Indy is in his early 40s. Like, these are people with experience in the real world, right?
They want people to know. I'm sure.
Well, you're running for office. The fact that you're actually mature and don't look like some sort of, ridiculous fanboy is useful. Because they get a lot of those. I mean, a lot of the people who are there, like, they just want to go there and talk about how great CCP is, or like, I'm talking to a dev.
Oh, what? It's so cool.
Wow, a dev is talking to me. Yay. Anyway.
Sub hype. Yeah. Kim Hedges to subscribe. More sub hype.
Awesome, Kim.
I think it's like 14 or 15.
We've been subbing like crazy
quite a
today.
High number.
I don't know. Like, it's like we seem to have hit a groove or something.
We're gonna have to start getting stuff together for like subtrain. Like, we hit a certain number and we have to do something. Speaking of doing things, giveaways.
Giveaways. All right. So we have been talking about the CSM. So our keyword again is going to be Indie, E-N-D-I-E, all lowercase. We're going to be giving away a
that's all caps. Whoops. So I'm thinking that because we've had so many subs today, I'm thinking that we do a sub-only giveaway and a non-sub giveaway.
We could totally do that. People have been subscribing.
Or we could
like
do
crazy.
3 sub.
Why don't we give
two?
Let's give away our 2 planned giveaways,
Okay.
just to
Everybody.
people. Yeah, to people who have done following and subs. As usual, you get a bonus if you're a subscriber, which is quite substantial. And then we'll do a sub-only giveaway because fuck it, why not? So,
I mean, these guys deserve something. We got so many subscribers today. They deserve something.
So we're going to give away 2 Svipples because we've been planning that from the beginning. And to make it really special, and because it's
shiny.
hilariously
Something
OP, we're going to give away an Orthrus to our subscribers.
Ooh.
And so that will be a sub-only giveaway. So if you want a shot at the Orthrus, go
Sub
ahead
now.
and mash button. You'll have.
However, everyone has to be following the stream to win, no
Yes.
matter what.
Yeah, if you're
If
not
you're
even a
following-
follower, you can go away. You don't get shit because
Wow,
I don't really care.
Wow.
That's the real talk. I mean, I'm not going to fuck around here. Like, you watch my show, you don't expect me to lick your ass and tell you everything's going to be okay. You come here for the straight dope, and that is follow the damn channel if you want us to give you something.
Yeah.
Real
I
talk
believe
from the Madison.
Real
Drew asked
talk.
earlier, do I think the Caldari Take 3 is going to be super overpowered? I think it will. I think no matter what they do to it, it's going to be probably the best out of all 4 races, just because of how good railguns are.
That's true.
Eh.
Yeah.
I'm really eager to see what that hull looks like because I'm still bitter about the Korax sucking because I think the Korax is like one of the best looking ships in the game and it sucks. So let's hope that God, somebody says pierce your Svipples.
God,
Yeah,
that's
then
terrifying.
there's another question about
Wow.
what do we feel about CCP mentioning that they were hoping to repurpose super capitals and how we feel if they were required for everyday fleet use. I think that's a good idea. I think they should be forced to be put out there on the line more often and not be sitting unsubbed like my Titan is.
Did they actually say something about repurposing it somewhere and I missed it?
They did
it's been
during
mentioned,
during the Head GP Super Cap brawl between where Black Legion brought their supers from the north like for 4 hours to get down to the hill.
That was a while ago.
CCP Fozzie came onto my stream and I asked him about it, and he said they're looking at ways they can repurpose super carriers and Titans out of their current roles into a different set of roles.
Into being removed from the game. No, obviously they can't remove them.
I don't think they'll ever remove them.
No,
It's too
they opened
much.
that Pandora's box, but super capitals are dumb. They've been dumb for a long time. Everybody knows it, kind of like the tutorial, and maybe they'll be able to come up with something that isn't completely. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the reason the blocks are so established. There's many reasons for that, social, cultural, organizational. But part of that is also somebody like if the SOV system is contingent upon super caps and caps being critical in any way for the new SOV system, that means that the people who've been building those things up for more than a decade are always going to be on top and be able to command what they want to have.
Right.
How are you going to have a new entity in space
You're
if your
not.
new SOV system is requiring caps and supers? Yeah. So I hope they realize that if they're talking about revamping caps and supers and super caps and they're redoing SOV, if it still is going to require a Titan fleet and a super carrier fleet, then it's still going to be the same people in power.
Sub hype.
We did just get another subscription from CR Nilsson, and also about the rebalancing thing. I wouldn't mind seeing Titans get repurposed from hey, we have this doomsday for killing other capitals and supers into being kind of like a Death Star platform with multiple smaller turrets where they have to go into this like a 15-minute siege cycle where they can't receive remote reps or anything like that, but it's more of a sub-capital platform where they're able to kill sub-capitals. But they're left completely on their own, where they can't receive any help for like an exorbitant amount of time. That
is one of the biggest issues with super carriers in particular, is they have so much EHP and they can just sit there and circle jerk rep each other, spider tanking, that they scale fantastically. And if they had a mode where they had better powers, but they had to shift into a place where they couldn't be repped to activate it, kind of like triage for super carriers.
I was going to say like triage.
Then you might see more of the damn things die.
But it has to be more than a 5-minute timer because 5 minutes is just not long enough. I mean, it's going to have to be like a 10-15 minute timer.
It'll have to be a thing. I mean, I'm glad that they're looking at it. Obviously, most of our Titans just stay unsubbed until there's a war, and that's basically people get a Titan and they quit the game, or they get a super and then they quit the game because they can't dock and they're just a pain in the ass.
I would never get a Titan. Like, there's people like, when are you gonna get a Titan? Are you close to a Titan? Are you training one? Like, no, I don't want one.
Right? Like, I've had a Titan for years. I barely use it. It's boring as crap.
I want a nag. You want to? I'll fly a vertical ship. I want one of those, but I do not want anything I can't dock in or change ships.
Like, people have basically gotten to use their Titans for what their supposed intended purpose was, essentially, like, once in this game, and that was BR5. And that's been pretty much it. Like, you have, like, these small engagements, but the big grand thing, one time. All right, so let's actually give away one of
so we've
these,
got 166 entries for this first one, which we've got 400 viewers. So I'm a little, you know, the number can go up, guys. But we're gonna roll this first one. Pantorus.
Pantorus
Is our big winner. Wigger? What?
I don't even know where you're going with that.
I don't know.
All right, so he's going to get a swivel, and you are going to go ahead and send us a message to the Twitch channel itself, not in chat, to let us know your in-game character that you'd like to receive your swivel on.
Ugh.
In the meantime, we're going to do our second giveaway. The keyword is going to be, again, this is just for followers and subscribers both. We're going to give away another swivel.
I hate you.
That'll be, I know, and that'll be, the keyword will be Scion, S-I-O-N.
Also,
all lowercase, remember?
Decapitari for the new sub as well.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome.
And we are getting ready to do our sub-only giveaway of an Orthrus once this next Scion one goes through. That'll be our last giveaway of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. We've been having more than 400 people watching us be silly for quite a while. I think this is one of the most consistent view counts we've had. Maybe it's because we've actually figured out how to start on time, not have things explode constantly, and Ritus, not Ritus, I almost called you Ritus, oh my god. Nystrick is not a ghost. Well, she's mostly a ghost. She's still.
I mean, I am a ghost.
I
can't go out in the sun without dying.
Okay.
I'm pale. Like, I have no soul. What
Somebody was saying that I need to like dye my hair ginger to catch up with you guys. It's I'm not really sure. I think I would look ridiculous as a ginger.
Just for the sake of easiness, Punky260, just Scion, it's all lowercase, just because people it's just easier to just type it all in lowercase. And the thing is smart enough to pick up people that type it with caps. It's just easier if it's all in one, like if it's all uppercase and it's all uppercase, it's all lowercase.
We get to be lazy. Our show rules.
GusBus8664, just subscribe, sub-hype.
We're definitely going to need to get one of these counters or something. Yes. Alrighty, let's go ahead and how many people do we have on the...
180.
180. More people want this stipple. Apparently Scion is a sexier number, a sexier name than Indy. That's a shame, Indy. We'll have to put your name back into the focus group. We'll have to do some marketing testing. We'll do a little A/B test to see the most effective way we can get your message out there. All right.
By the way, with these open giveaways, the subs do have a higher chance of winning.
If you write Scion with caps in odd places, the thing will not notice. It needs to be typed the way that I typed it.
It's going to be all like that. There you go. You have some sort of massive like vibrating fan in the background.
I do, and the sync is on as well, so there's a lot of noise going on right now that my mic is very powerful and picks it all up, even though it is not anywhere near close to where I currently am. Hold on one second.
Wookie Bear has an interesting suggestion, something that we've been thinking about. Somebody says that we need a cheesy name for your subs, like other streams. We don't think that picking a nickname for the community is a good idea. We feel once we build a community of people that you guys are going to choose your own name. Kind of like how Goons on Something Awful. It wasn't like Lotax said, hey guys, you're Goons. Everybody just organically decided to start calling each other that and adopted that. So if our subgroup, our community decides that they want to have whatever silly name, we're just going to start calling you guys that. So
Mittens Kittens, I like it.
Oh God, Mittens Kittens.
I like it.
Wow, Mittens is Kittens.
Oh, that's hysterical.
That's wow.
No, please.
That would be terrible. I'm not going to do that, but it would be very funny.
Mittens Kittens.
Whenever I'm streaming and someone follows or subscribes, I tell them I welcome them to
You're
the
one of
spin
Mittens
zone.
Kittens. Yeah.
No, I welcome them to the spin zone.
Welcome to the spin zone. I think
Yeah.
Bill Riley might have copyrighted that. God's help us.
Too late.
Okay.
It's too late. I'll change it if it's an issue, but it's too late. Okay, so I'm gonna roll this. We got 190, so I'm gonna roll it. Colorado Frost. It is indeed.
Oh God. Schwab boy.
So he has a follower, he's not a subscriber, but you have won a Svipple.
I'm not really sure I even want to say what Schwaboy said here because of our.
I'm scared. What
movie
happened? What did I miss?
We are subs, but this is our dom.
What?
Didn't we have an impromptu discussion about 50 Shades last show?
We
should
did.
I think we did.
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the day after that show, I went and saw The Kingsman. The Kingsman was fucking awesome.
Oh, I want to see it so bad.
I hear that's really good. All right.
Yeah, it was amazing.
No spoilers. I want to see it.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and give out another thing before.
I forget how to make the room sub only.
Did we get the winner
Oh.
of
We did. It was Colorado Frost.
Colorado Frost? Go ahead and make sure that
He
you
noticed that he won, so it's
you
good.
ping us on the channel, not on the channel, on the chat. Send a message. Let us know you're Eve guy, so we can go ahead and contract that over to you. All right, 50 Shades of Grayscale. Jesus Christ! Wow. Wow.
Actually.
Savoir, 50 Shades of Grayscale. I have very
Laz, do you
specific
remember-
tastes for shooting structures
Actually, I
endlessly.
think only,
There's a way to do it, and I just don't remember what it is. I think it's like slash.
I know there should be a button for.
Somebody says it should be /subscribers or /subscribers on.
Now in subscribers only mode. There we go.
All right.
I did it.
We're going to give away an Orthrus, which is completely ridiculous in terms of power. Do we need them to type a keyword in?
We do still.
Okay, so let's have them type in kittens.
Oh God.
Because apparently you guys have decided to call yourself Mittens Kittens as a joke. That's terrible.
Only one person decided.
No, actually,
that.
like 3 or 4 other people
Oh,
started.
no,
Like that's
really?
what's. It's because we started cringing and saying how we didn't want to do it.
Sub hype.
God,
Hi.
That should be the keyword.
gosh,
Sub hype.
sub. Look at them go! Wow, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
really pleased with how many
All right,
subscribers
so
we
type
have, guys.
kittens. I blame you for this. This is all your fault. I
This
don't
is
want you
great.
guys to call yourself Mittens Kittens, but if you start doing this damn silly thing, I guess we'll have to roll with it.
I mean, if that's what they want to call
I
themselves,
can
there's
roll
nothing we
with
can
that.
do.
It's
There's more of us.
It's better than
It's
Mittens
kinda
Minxes, right? I mean, it could be worse. Somebody has proposed that for the Siren Storm thing, and I was appropriately
No.
horrified.
Do they want to see your Sviefel?
They want to.
Oh, God.
Is anybody in Iceland like going like we're gonna call the ship this and like thinking about how it's gonna come out on comms? Like when people go,
Primary the Spitball.
yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
Hey guys, my Svipple's primary.
Oh God.
What?
Ugh.
Maniacal laugh.
Oh, that's amazing. We made you cringe. That's adorable. Okay.
I'm good. I'm cool. I'm fine. Okay,
Glad you're
so
cool.
Banana Appreciation Society.
we've got 34. I think that's good to go ahead and roll.
Alrighty. Is there any other subs out there? Any of our?
Oh my God, really? Mythic Myth just won again?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you win the first time?
He won, I think,
He
last
won
week.
last week. He did.
Oh.
I ended
Yeah.
up giving him a confessor. It was pretty awesome.
Wow. So now he's got a confessor and an
Now he's
Orthodox.
got two.
Yeah.
Wow.
congratulations. All right, Mythic Myth, go ahead and send us a ping again. You know how this works.
You know the
because
protocol, buddy.
We've already won before, so congratulations. Enjoy your Orthrus.
Rigged.
Thank you guys. Lots of sub hype here because apparently we have an awful lot of.
Yeah, don't worry, guys.
Our
Now
dudes.
that we've got more of a sub base, we'll be doing more subscriber only giveaways. So hopefully Mythic won't take them all because apparently he's got some sort of something in. Yeah, I don't know.
He is literally like hacking our Gibson and.
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it.
Getting into Nistrix grill and
There we
figuring
go.
out how to.
So
I don't.
does
I
that
mean,
one.
I don't care.
All
So now
right.
everyone.
No. The answer
Wow.
is no.
I turned subscriber mode off, and the first thing we see is K-Killer.
No.
Show yourself.
Wow.
You
Oh, I
should-
see. I was wondering why we had so many subscribers chatting. Is because you turned it into only subs. we
Only
know
some
about.
subs, yeah.
I
Because
see.
the giveaway thing doesn't have a sub only.
Oh, okay.
Right, so
okay.
you've got to turn the channel on
All
to
these
sub
beep boops
only.
and whiz gigs confuse me. I'm a
Beep
very
boop.
simple mitten and a little bit beyond my ken. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and call this off because I need to head over to the Ice Swarm meet. Look out. We're going to probably have something either posted on TMC. There'll probably also be a forum thread. In the near future, we're going to be announcing a Madison local public community meet. You don't have to be in the CFC. You don't have to even be in nullsec. We're going to come out. We're going to go to a beer hall in Madison. I think that's a good venue. You can drink with me. You can pour beer on me. You can do God only knows what, as long as you don't touch my svipple.
Oh dear.
And it'll be fine. So we're going to do that, and we'll see you guys next week. Should be interesting. Thank you for tuning in. So many of you watched. Thank you to all of our subscribers and supporters, because there seem to be an awful lot of you, and now you're hitting this kind of weird social critical mass, and it's going to be all downhill from here, basically.
Yeah. Make sure you guys are all around tomorrow. We'll be doing Sub Day Sunday, so there'll be specific sub giveaways too tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. And hopefully Laz won't be able to stream, but he'll be able to play vicariously through me and participate.
Until he gets his internet fixed, which is coming soon, but not quite there yet.
Soon, TM.
Wednesday. Hopefully.
Awesome.
Hopefully that's the issue, that they fix it. We'll see.
Excellent. All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you next week, and be sure to support us and also watch all of our other programs. And we'll see you later. I'm going to go party and try not to get into too much trouble, which is always rather difficult, because that's kind of how I roll. I do like partying and getting into trouble. See you later.
Bye.